We are live tonight at the St. Louis Park Rec Center on Thursday, February 5th for a Metro West Conference boys hockey matchup as the Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knights, 12-8-2, but 5-0 in the conference, are going to battle the Chaska Hawks. I'm John Fromm, and I'll be calling the game tonight on St. Louis Park TV Live. So if you do want to let some friends know, they just need to go to parktv.org, obviously, and click on 16. And then watch the live web stream. And there you see a shot. One of the reasons we came up early today, you see all the jerseys hanging towards the penalty box area. It is senior night for the Benilde seniors this year. There's a big crop of seniors. And I'm going to have Benilde football coach John Hanks join me shortly just to talk about some of the kids he knows as well, as you see me there. Kind of an interesting matchup we have tonight. On paper, this should definitely be a Benilde win in the sense that Chaska's lost similar opponents. Chaska's lost to several teams that Benilde has beat, and Benilde has played a much tougher schedule. And also, Chaska's one of their best defensemen is out for the season, who was their second leading scorer and their captain. Benilde has had a good run. They're 12-8-2, as we mentioned, on the season. They've outscored their opponents 76-58, averaging about 3.5 goals a game and giving up about 2.6. The big story here, though, is Tuesday night, Benilde hosted Eden Prairie in a matchup of top 11 teams, as the Red Knights are ranked 10th or 11th, depending on which poll you look at. And in that game on Tuesday night, Coach Pauly talked to me that penalties and discipline were a big problem, as the Red Knights had 9 minutes of penalties in the first 22 minutes of the game, which resulted in a huge disparity on shots on goal in favor of Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie wins that game 5-0 on Tuesday, as you take a look at all the senior jerseys. And that was a big game for the Red Knights and Eden Prairie. It pretty much locked up Section 6 AA number 1 seed to Eden Prairie this year. But next Tuesday, the Red Knights are going to host Wayzata here on February 10th. And that's the matchup that's probably going to determine who's the second seed in the section. Wayzata probably has a slight advantage now to Benilde being third, but whoever wins that game is going to get the 2 seed, and that's what you really want, because with the 2 seed, that means you host the 3 team, and you have last change in that game. So being the 3rd seed is definitely not as good as being the 2nd because of the advantage it gives you in the semifinal game. So if Benilde should get that far. It's wide open in that Section 6 AA. I took a look on Let's Play Hockey and some other information. I don't know if I can share it with you here, but 7 of the top 23 teams in the state are in that section. It's absolutely weighted down dramatically. You've got Hopkins and Holy Family, as well as Minnetonka in that loop. And it's just a 7-team section, so the other advantage that Eden Prairie is going to have is they're going to get a bye in the first round. So week and a half left of the regular season, and the Red Knights are out to start the senior night program, and we're going to flip it on over, and maybe I'll ask one of the camera people to zoom in here, and I'll have some information I can read on senior night. As you see all the players coming out of the dressing room, all the junior varsity players from Benilde-St. Margaret's. After this event, we will be beginning the game promptly after that. Benilde, of course, coached by longtime skipper Ken Pauly, in his second tour of duty with the Red Knights. He's got 25 years officially as a head coach, if you can believe that, folks. And obviously, for a few of those years in the mid-2000s, he was at Minnetonka as a head coach. And I know he had some glowing things to say about the work ethic and talent of this senior class. It's going to be on display tonight as you take a look at that group. And you're going to see the vast majority of those seniors play a significant amount of minutes for the Red Knights. You can see they're all lined up from left to right here. To just take a moment, the mothers and fathers are out there for Benilde. And the seniors as they are listed, I'm going to read them off to you as a PA announcer. Audio isn't coming through so well. 64, Mark Caskey, a senior left winger. TJ Roos, senior center, number 10. Chase Jungles, I believe in his 4th year with the program, senior winger. Will Duda, number 26, also a senior. And then Then you've got Jack Lawton, number 3, son of Brian Lawton. And I believe that is the, take a look again here. I think we mentioned Ben Newhouse, Jack Lawton. Oh, my bad, we forgot the goaltender, the starting goalie tonight, Jalen Long. And there you see a look at there you see. Okay, I'm just listening to the background here. That looks like that's number 21. Kind of a Jim and Ed Larson, I believe. And TJ Moore, one of the juniors for the Red Knights, is coming out to bring some flowers. The center, TJ Moore. Excuse me, Augie Moore, my apologies. TJ, of course, graduated last year. And there's Augie, number 23. We're going to have some pictures down on the far end there. And here comes Heather, didn't catch her last name, Heather Hounds. She's being brought out by Jerry Callinger, number 24. Take a look at the families there, exchanging laughs. They're trying to recognize some of the female players and managers as well that have been really involved in the program here. Yeah, she's been manager of girls volleyball as well as the hockey team. And Heather, I believe, is on the obviously on the left there with her red boots, and her mom and dad being brought over there by Cade Gleekle, number 9. Dylan Hewitt, number 14, along with number 19, Zach Ristow, bringing out another one of the managers. Young lady closest to our screen here, as her mother is going to give her a big hug. Varsity soccer player. I did not catch her name on the PA here. She was a Miss Minnesota soccer finalist as well. I think there's one more manager we're going to announce before we get to the actual players. But as I mentioned, as we wait for the next manager to come on out, should be a good matchup. Chaska definitely a prohibitive underdog. The Hawks have used 24 players on the year, had a ton of injuries to Coach Dave Snuggerud's team. All right, Will Duda. Here he comes, number 26, one of the seniors. Will Duda, been around the program a long time. Going to be greeted by his mom and dad over there as Peter Heimbold, number 8, brings him out. Third season on the varsity for Will. Coach Bally had really nice things to say about Will Duda in the sense that he's a real hard-working player who's given his all to the program. He's shipped in 5 goals and 4 assists so far on the second line. And as a left-handed shooter, he scored all 7 of his points in the last 10 games as BSM gets ready for the playoffs. Now here's number 64 coming next. BSM's one of their big scorers, Mark Caskey, 12 goals and 17 assists on the year for the senior Caskey. He's a scholar athlete. Very strong academics, almost near the 3.8 to 3.9 range with his grade point average. You see his mom and dad joining him over there, and they'll be walking over for their pictures. And I should mention with Mark last week, Coach Pauly wanted me to make sure to mention last week the St. Paul Pioneer Press tabbed that young man, Mark Caskey, as its Athlete of the Week, and he was featured in a nice piece that ran in the St. Paul Pioneer Press. Congratulations to Mark Caskey and the entire Caskey family, as well as the Duda family. That's quite an honor, obviously. 29 points on the season for the senior Caskey. Scored 5 goals last week in 2 of the wins that BSM had. And here's tonight's starting goaltender, who had a great piece of relief work on Tuesday night, Jalen Long, the 5'9", 165-pound senior. Jalen came in on relief on Tuesday night, and Coach Pauly and I were talking about it. He saved 21 out of 22 shots in relief against Eden Prairie, and he's going to get the call, obviously, tonight on senior night. He's got a 91 save percentage on the season. Obviously 6-2-0 on the year with a 1.79 goals against. Or a 92 save percentage, which is fantastic. 92% for Jalen Long. The other goalie, of course, is sophomore Ryan Bishop. And here comes number 10, senior Carter Rue. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Rue coming forward had another young man who just came through the Totino and Benilde-St. Margaret's program, TJ Rue, who was a fantastic scorer for the Red Knights. Carter's had a nice career. He was a first-line center and a very unselfish player. 5 goals and 20 assists on the season, and he had an 8-game point streak that was stopped on Tuesday night, but he's going to restart it, is what the quote I have here. I'm sure he has some thoughts about continuing his hockey career. And here comes number 3, senior defenseman Jack Lawton. Jack's a 6-foot, 180-pound senior from the Edina Youth Program. Got a goal on last Saturday. He got his first goal of the year, but he's played remarkably well. 4 years in the Benilde-St. Margaret's hockey program and the school. You see he's joined by his father, Brian Lawton, and his mother, Mrs. Lawton. Incidentally, for those of you watching at home, indeed, Brian Lawton is the former Minnesota North Star draft pick, first overall pick, and a hockey agent, I believe, still. Used to be a GM, so great memories as well for Jack. And here comes number 11, senior forward Chase Jungles, number 11. Chase 5'9", 165 pounds, 32 points on the season to lead the Red Knights. 13 goals and 19 assists. One of the captains as well, obviously. Good leadership, very unselfish, as are all of the gentlemen on those lines. He obviously, a few of these seniors got significant minutes, we should mention, in the 2012 state championship team. That obviously was 3 years ago when he was a 9th grader. Chase was getting significant minutes. And here's another young man with a bright future, Division I recruit and signee, Ben Newhouse. Ben being greeted by his parents over there, adorned in the scarlet, 2-time captain. He also has signed with Union College to go out east.
In addition, Ben is recognized as one of the Metro area's top defensemen. Ben committed to play for Union College in New York.
He wants to continue playing hockey as well, I'm listening. They will miss that captain as well. There you see there. So a nice class of seniors. 7 seniors in all with the Red Knights in this class of 2015. You see the red and white balloons, and a nice, really great work by Kurt as well in the truck. And Paul, thank you for pulling back. A nice piece of effort. And I think they're going to have one more group shot. So while they're doing that, I'm going to continue to talk about the preview of the game. As I mentioned, Chaska comes in. They're coached by former Minnesota Gopher and U.S. Olympian from 1988, excuse me, Dave Snuggerud. Now, if you grow up in the St. Louis Park area at all, you might be very familiar. From the mid-'80s, Dave Snuggerud was a huge player for Hopkins High School. I believe he graduated in '84. And Dave went on to a full scholarship at the U of M and then played with the Olympic team and 10 years in the NHL. He's in his second tour of duty as the Chaska coach. Coach Snuggerud runs something out in Chaska called the Breakaway Academy. Oh, there's a great shot of all the seniors. I'm just going to be quiet for a moment so you can see Jalen Long surrounded by the 6 fellow seniors as he has there. Always hard for the goalie to go down on one knee and stick the other pad out. So I say that from personal experience as a father of a goaltender. And all the rest of the players are out as well. So really nice shot. Hopefully that's something the parents can take advantage of. And if you are watching this at home and you do want to get a copy of this senior night program as well as the game tonight, all you need to do is go to ParkTV.org, ParkTV.org. Call that number. It's a great value for the Benilde parents that might be interested. $10 a piece if you buy 3 or more DVDs, $15 if you just buy a single. And you can obviously watch most of these hockey games are on live web streaming on Channel 16. And then obviously Paul Broden, our director and manager of Channel 16, will run the replay of this game numerous times over the next week or so, week to 2 weeks. And then it'll go on the city's YouTube page. So you'll be able to find this probably for at least a couple years on the YouTube page. And that's a great, great resource that Paul's put up. City used to use Vimeo, so that's a really nice hosting site. So thank you for putting that up, Paul. We are live. We're a little bit late because of the senior program, as it's 7:17. We were hoping to kick things off at 7, but certainly a very nice program that was put on by the Red Knight coaching staff and parents, obviously the balloons, etc. Saying hi to Kathy Hewitt over here, whose son Dylan will be out there playing tonight. Known her for a long, long time when I worked with her at the Minnesota Timberwolves, and she's a really nice young lady. Dylan, junior player for the Red Knights. We mentioned the first units for each team, and I was talking about Coach Snuggerud. He's having the thrill this year, even though the team is having a rough stretch. They started out at 8-3, the Hawks, and they've lost 4 of their last 5. He has the thrill of coaching Jake Snuggerud, which is his senior son, so I can imagine that was one of the reasons he wanted to come back last year. He's in his second tour of duty as the head coach for the Chaska Hawks. He also, obviously I mentioned, has had some stints in the Wayzata Youth Program and I believe the Eden Prairie Youth Program as well. And out on the ice now come the Chaska Hawks as we're almost ready to go here for Thursday night hockey. I should mention Ken Pauley in his 25th season went over 400 career wins last year. I believe as the current total is he's got 424 career wins for Coach Pauley. He's assisted by John Russo, obviously big-time scorer Troy Riddle, and Tom Klein, the goaltender coach. Of course, a lot of St. Louis Park fans that might be watching remember Troy Riddle in the late 90s when Benilde was able to win their first Class A title, and then his career with the Golden Gophers. You see the Hawks getting ready to line up here. Not sure if there was a last-minute change, as I believe there was. It looks like Chaska had 4 goaltenders warming up, and they still have 3 of them suited up out here. So not sure which direction the Hawks are going to go in net, but we will have the starting lineups announced momentarily. Coach Snuggerud, as I mentioned, assisted by Jake Cray and Sean Bloomfield are on his staff. I believe they also help with his program out there. First year for the Hawks in this new Metro West Conference. New for the Red Knights, and brand new conference for everybody as well. The Hawks, along with Chanhassen and then Richfield, are the bottom 3 teams on the rung in the conference right now. Benilde and then St. Louis, Benilde 5-0, then St. Louis Park at 4-0. And there you see, I don't know if you can see it, but number 1, there is the starting goaltender, sophomore Clay Kucera. The sophomore has seen a lot of rubber this year, but he's got a nice 2.90 goals against. And on defense, you're going to see number 4, you're going to see a ton of ice for the Red Knights. One of the captains, Zach Rodeheffer, and also number 29, Micah Roan. And then up front, you're going to see the big first line for Chaska as Jake Snuggerud is out there, number 9, along with by far the best player for the Chaska Hawks, number 2, Derek Annette. We'll mention his name a lot. He's got 53 points on the year. And for the Red Knights, there you take a look at the senior keeper, number 29, Jalen Long. Jalen on the year, having a really good year. There you take a look at another senior, Jack Lawton. Will Duda obviously getting a start tonight as well as a senior. Chase Jungles being announced, another one of the seniors. Carter Rue, senior center, first line senior center. I believe that was Mark Kasky, the other senior was announced, although you had 7 seniors and only 6 could play, so one has to sit. We're going to step away just for a minute for the anthem here. Stick with us here on Channel 16. We're live here Thursday, February 5th. Here at the Rec Center, as there have been some significant upgrades to the facility in the last year. I know the St. Louis Park Hockey Association, through a lot of their pull tabs efforts up at Bunny's, that's their fundraising vehicle, was able to donate a couple $100,000 to the city for use in a possible expansion here of a third outdoor sheet. We'll see more information on that as we go. Kind of a hush-hush right now. Hawks gathered around sophomore goaltender Clay Kucera. Red Knights in their big semicircle. Don't know if we can get a shot of that. They've got a really big semicircle with Jalen Long kind of in the middle there, all crouched over on the side. Tonight's referees, the 3-man crew, is assigned by the Minnesota State High School League. Tom Avery, one of the referees, along with Mike Sammers, and then I believe the linesman is Dave Dewar. We're just about ready to drop the puck there. You take a look at Clay's numbers on the year. He got a really good 90 save percentage. He's got 7 official decisions with 11. Hey, absolutely. And we're happy to be joined as we get ready to drop the puck by a longtime friend of mine. As you take a look at Jalen Long there, the senior goalie getting to work. My longtime friend John Hank's going to join us, the head football coach at Benilde. John, I'll let you get situated. We're ready to drop the puck and move forward. Thursday night hockey here at the Rec Center. A net off the draw against Rue for the Red Knights. They're going to break the zone offensively early, and Kucera gets some help behind the net as the net's going to kick it up the wall behind. Really glad to have John involved here. We mentioned the Hawks primarily is getting a lot of scoring off their first unit. That's Jake Snuggerud who shoots it in, and the Hawks are going to change on the fly here. Benilde counters, and Jungles will possibly make a move towards the puck, but he let it fly. And the Hawks are going to jump it down and finish their change, John. Here's Jack Lawton breaking it out to Jungles. His pass goes awry, and we're going to have our first break of the game here. So I'm just thrilled to have John Hanks. I can't tell you what this means to me, Hanksy. We got Beauty and the Beast here. We both got our lids, but I'm so happy to have this young man. I say young man because I think he's 2 weeks younger than me, so.
Nice one, I like that.
Anyway, off the face-off win, Cassie get to catch it off the far wall and reset as Peter Heimbold goes behind the Benilde-St. Margaret's net. For the Red Knights, they're going to play all 18 of their skaters here, and here's Jerry Callinger, 24, on the break for BSM. Callinger going to work it around the wall, backhanded pass out front, nobody home, and it's a nice contact by Sam Esping for the Chaska Hawks. Circling in the Hawk zone, a slap shot. A nice slap shot that time. Hits off the kneecap of Jacob Osell and goes into the corner. Here's Kasky behind the net operating. Kasky being pursued by Kucera. Kasky going to bank it off the near wall all the way behind the net. where the Red Knights continue to cycle down low. Operating behind the net. Back out to Heimbold. The wrist shot from the corner goes wide into the corner for BSM. Kaski getting some help behind the net with Heimbold as Peter ducked down there. Cross rink pass over to Kaski. Tic-tac-toe plays early, John. They're really operating and cycling really well.
Moving the puck, moving their feet.
Absolutely. John was an assistant coach too in hockey, and his son Nathan, longtime hockey player, really great athlete, and baseball and football player for the Red Knights. We're going to have another break here as it's offside early on. John, we had a really nice senior night program before the game we came on, and you know, I'm really happy you could join us tonight. I don't know, when you look at the Red Knight roster, obviously they have 7 seniors. You know, you feel free to give us any thoughts on any of the kids as it is senior night too, or anything you want to chime in with. So
great skaters. They all are great skaters, great stick handlers. They just, you know, they're tremendous hockey players. They're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Coach Pauly had some really nice things to say here. Off the face-off win for the Red Knights, Connor Mayer, the sophomore, pushes the puck forward, gets some help from Ben Newhouse. Newhouse, also one of the seniors for BSM, over to Jacob Holmers. Newhouse operating on the short wall, throws it out front, kind of a shallow angle there. Does hit off one of the BSM players. I believe that was Cade Gleekle. Newhouse over to Heimbold. And then a nice wrist shot thrown on net, and Moore going to follow. And then that's banged in. I believe that was number... John, you might have to help me with the...
there.
Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah, I believe that was number 18, wasn't it? Connor Mayer, or was it 19, Zach Risto?
I think it's Zach. Zach
All
put
right.
that in, I think.
There you see is a tic-tac-toe play. There's Zach Risto, number 19, a follow there. And then Zach comes to the far side and just gets the garbage collected.
Hey, you know, they take care of those rebounds, bang them home.
So the first of what I predict will be a number of goals tonight for BSM. As the Hawks have had a rough go of it this season. So Zach Ristow, I believe that's his. John, maybe you could help me out what number goal on the season that is for number 19 there.
That'd be his 18th goal.
Already his 18th.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Coach Pauly said he was the leading goal scorer. So he adds to his total, the junior. Off the face-off draw for the Hawks, Andrew McClure's line out there with Connor Cranbeck and Jacob Osell. For the Red Knights, they'll counter. Cranbeck gets a stick on it, and Andrew McClure going to stop in his own line and try to hit Cranbeck. Nobody home there.
You watch Chaska, you know, they're kind of playing a lot of people deep. They're afraid to push the puck out of the zone. They're just terrified of what's going on here. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond or if they make a change to that.
And John, we mentioned that the Hawks are coached by former Gopher and NHL player Dave Snuggerud back in his second round, but I know he's had a lot of challenges this year, and the quality of opposition hasn't been as strong, obviously, as it is for the Red Knights. So take down behind the net there as a net goes down hard for the Hawks. Number 2 on the back check there. Looks like Samuelson also pursuing on a back check out to the point for Newhouse. Newhouse shot hits off a Hawk skate, and then another follow by Jungles goes nowhere.
That's going to be open a lot because they're caving in down low. Those points are going to have a lot of shots tonight.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any problem with the speed of the Red Knight forwards as well as the defensemen. Should be able to get a lot of forechecks and turnovers as well. And we're going to have an icing, and this is the first unit for, well, the puck is
played by the goalie?
Yeah, Jalen Long came out and decided to play it. Forget having an icing here. I don't want that.
Jalen wants to keep play going, I guess.
So here's Newhouse who's going to circle the wagons and hit center ice. Little 1-on-4 situation or 2-on-4. Kallinger going to pass it to himself, goes right out front, cross. Nobody home there, but the Red Knights are able to keep it in the Hawk zone. Nice job by Jerry Kallinger and Mark Kaski there.
I think Jalen might have busted his stick down there in net.
He did.
Not a happy camper.
The goaltender, Jalen Long, with a broken goaltending stick. And I tell you, especially on playing it on a play that would have been an icing anyway. I don't know how the folks are going to feel about a new twig for the season.
Kenny might have something to say to him later. I don't know.
Yeah, well, so back to live action.
That's good puck movement there. That was really good.
And that was Newhouse over to Mayer.
Newhouse is such a good player, man. He's just a great kid, too.
Geez, and so many of these kids, 3-4 years with the program. Oh, there's Will Duda with a backhand pass as he tried to find Jerry Kallinger. Maybe chipped out as he's taken down. Moved to center ice, and here's Mayer regrouping for the Red Knights. Kate Gleekle up the short wall here. 1-on-3 for Gleekle. Does a little toe drag move and throws it high over the crossbar. Challenger from the point, gets it again.
Nice pass.
Beautiful pass down low, and a follow play. Liko made a beautiful pass, I believe that was to Duda, and then Duda almost got it in, and then almost a good follow as well. Yeah. Absolutely.
Some great stick handling. Way to move the puck, too.
Well, John Hanks, if you're listening live, that's John Hanks, the head football coach at Benilde-St. Margaret's, who's had both of his children go through the program, and both have gone into the college experience, and he's got another one joining us. He was also an assistant hockey coach for years through the Cooper program, so really happy to have him in the color seat tonight to keep me under wraps.
It's been a while. It's been a couple years since we've done anything with hockey, so it's kind of fun to get back into it and watch some of this great hockey. So.
Right, and your job is to keep me straight and make sure I don't get too silly, okay?
Yeah, you're doing a fine job.
Risto at center ice. Oh, backhand effort
turnover.
As he turns it over, unfortunately, and it was stolen away that time by, I believe that was TJ Deming who got a stick on that for the Hawks and almost had a break. So a little sloppy play back there. BSM going to break it out here. The Hawks have two forwards. They're only sending one forward even in deep on the forecheck. There's a follow by Moore. Moore's wrist shot hits off the goalie. Kucera sprinkles into the corner there. Good step up from his D slot. I believe that's number 19, Ristow. He helped support his defenseman, and Zach almost gets another goal there.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah.
Boy, he just snapped that off nice.
Love to see how the high-end teams like BSM, you're going to watch Ristow's shot again here. Shallow angle. Kucera didn't really have a good read on that. That was almost Johnny banged down the door. It was almost in there, so. Rue off the face-off, loses the draw to Annette. Annette tries to bang it up, and Snuggerud battling on the short wall here. Nothing doing for Jake Snuggerud as the Red Knights are able to capitalize and get the puck again behind the Hawks net. Possible 4-on-2 for Chaska, and unfortunately, Coach Snuggerud not going to be happy with that, John, as
that's
Rodeheffer.
a 20-foot pass. You got to make that pass coming out of the zone, and as a forward, you got to be able to catch that doggone thing. That's a good play by a defenseman.
Right.
You get that puck in front of the net, move the puck, don't play with it. He did a nice job. We got to have, Chaska's got to get them forwards to handle the puck.
Absolutely. That was Zach Rodeheffer, who was part of the 4-on-2 delegation there and tried to move it up to Annette. Icing is called, so BSM off the shot, and a big wrist shot goes high over the crossbar that time by Jungles. Mayer helping out. 18 going to swing it around to Kasky. Kasky, nobody home here, and Annette's going to take it away for the Hawks and try to start a redirect here. Kasky steals it away at center ice. Mark Kasky, wrist shot thrown right on, and boy, nice wrist
transition. They just, once they get the puck in the neutral zone, they transition into the offensive zone fast as that cat, boy. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's good, and it's great to have the replays up here too, where we can follow. And there was Johnny on the spot, Chase Jungles. If there would have been anything falling, he would have had another one on the board. So 9:32 remaining here in the first period at the rec center. BSN off the face-off win. Will do it, a wrist shot. A beautiful opportunity. Held again by Kucera, and it's going to be flipped around. Hawks, I don't believe, have had any shots and really minimal time of possession at all. Oh, there's a nice step up at center ice, and I got to give credit where credit's due. Andrew McClure was the young man who put a hit on Will Duda there.
Which is surprising because Will played a lot of years in the Eden Prairie football youth program, so he's a football player. I'm surprised he got knocked off his skates.
Yeah, that's McClure. I believe he as well as a baseball player for Chaska. Nice to see. Did you have Will with the football program at BSM?
No, okay. Will had a knee injury when he was a Bantam, and kind of took him out of football there. It was kind of a pretty serious injury, and it took him a year or so to get back, so he could skate again. So
wow,
he didn't play football. We'd have loved to have him play, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you get those ACLs or MCLs. Back to live action. The Hawks having trouble still breaking out. Here's a 3-on-2 with the first line. Let's see if they can get the puck to Annette. Annette number 2 for Chaska, by far their best player and leading scorer, John.
Okay.
He's got 53 points on the season.
Oh, he knows how to put it in the net then.
Yeah, and they stick him with Jake Snuggerud, 9, and sometimes they're band 6. So number 2 and 8, the big scorers for the Hawks, folks. And we'll see the fourth line out here. Going to get some nice ice today, as I believe also the third set of D is Dylan Hewitt out there for the Red Knights. Dylan, number 14, the junior, back at the point. Ristow going to give it up back to Hewitt, 14. Wrist shot through nicely done as it went through a net. He had a great screen to shoot through there. Follow as well by BSM at 21. I believe that's Jacob Holmers has that turned aside.
That's a great play by Newhouse, just to come back and help his other defenseman out, Hewitt.
Yeah, because there was a real possible break there for number 8, Danny Urbancic for Chaska. Stop and go play, nobody home there for the Red Knights.
Look at the skating ability. Those kids just turn on a dime, and the Chaska kids are like, what is that?
And here is Rue, a little stop and go move as he does a 180.
Nice
Here back to Jungles. Wrist shot goes wide of the net. Yeah, I mean, the difference in speed is just so unbelievable at every level as well as the ability for the forwards to support their defensemen when they pinch as well, and good reading and good.
It's a good stick there, boy. That was a hard pass to catch.
Beautiful catch by Caskey. Gets it on Rue's stick. Nice back check in his own zone, but Chaska not able to get the puck out. Is number 6, Krayenbeck. Jacob Osell on the forecheck for Chaska as he tries to pursue Jungles, but Jungles with a head of steam and some wheels, cross-rink back to Caskey. Caskey with a backhand attempt. Hits off a Hawk skate and goes into the corner where Rue and Caskey going to play catch again. Chipped out, and the Hawks will try to drive it down here. One-on-one sequence is going to hit off the feet of Connor Mayer, and at least the Hawks were able to maintain control, and TJ Deming dumped it out for Chaska.
Nice pass.
Beautifully done to Caskey on the follow. Oh, and we're going to have a penalty whistle, the delayed penalty on Chaska, as it was a beautiful job by.
Great pass.
Oh my heavens, was that nicely done as Chase got it to Caskey, and Caskey was harassed.
Threading the needle. It was beautiful.
And one of the Hawks is going to the sin bin, John. I don't know, when you get penalties whistled on the BSM lineman, do we have a phrase you like to use? Or?
Well, we try to be as patient as we can with those youngsters, but penalties are no good.
You take a look. Yeah, you take a look there, and that was really at least the young man number 4, one of the captains, Zach Rodeheffer, going to get saddled with the holding penalty. He really probably stopped a goal there. So 5-on-4 for the Red Knights here. We'll take a look at the units.
Nice
and a beautiful shot just inside the far bar.
Will Duda
at a power play. Only 10 seconds into the power play. 6:05 remaining, and
6-goal season for Will.
Absolutely. And you talked about him earlier and his background as they operate at top of the umbrella there. Mayer gets it. And it was really even I believe the goaltender Kucera had an angle on it, but it was such a beautiful shot, low to the ice, right inside the bar there.
Absolutely.
Kind of reminiscent of some Cooper coaches in days gone by who could fire biscuits at the young men like that.
Man, that was a long time ago, brother. Long time ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good times, though.
Speaking of sin bins, I think I spent more time in the sin bin than I did on the ice. That's what happens when a football player plays hockey. It's all good.
Yep. And we might have Ron Boley and Greg Erickson listening and John Gauchi tonight. So shout out to those guys if they are listening.
Great people, man. They're just phenomenal people.
Yep. Some of the people John and I used to know from back in the day there. Whoa, a couple of Red Knights go hard into the wall there as fresh out of the box and receiving a check was Zach Rodeheffer. He was double teamed. He had a BSM sandwich there on the short wall, John.
Boy, I tell you, they just don't even want to try to get the puck out. They're just lifting it and changing.
And here's some speed again. Holmers, little stop and go. Backhands it to himself where Moore going to drop pass it to Risto.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, upper corner. What a snipe as well.
Very nice.
Absolutely. Beautifully done. Excellent puck movement. And at the 5:05 mark, the Red Knights are going to add to the lead here. Expect a big scoring game. As you see, Holmers with a really nice stop and go move, backhanding it to himself. Here's Moore going to get the return pass to Ristow, partial screen, but boom. And unless the goaltender Kucera is out another 5-6 feet, he's got no chance defensively with his size to make an angle on that. So.
And it's too bad that Chaska's letting Benilde just kind of do what they want in the zone. They're playing kind of a passive defense, and they're sinking in on their goalies, and that's too bad.
Yeah.
The goalie's kind of hung out to dry here. I'd like to see their guys play a little more spirited. So.
Right, absolutely.
He's done very well. It could be like 8-10-0 right now, but he's done very well.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but when my son Ryan was a sophomore at St. Louis Park, he started against the Red Knights. That was the year that Benilde won the state. And first period of that game, 35 Red Knight shots, officially 2 for Park.
Right.
And he definitely lost some weight by the end of the game.
Well,
is he still alive?
That was one of their. Well, it was one of their best teams that they've had at Benilde. They're phenomenal skaters, and
an opportunity for the Hawks. Yeah,
yeah.
it sure was that 2012 state tournament team with Bessie and Moore and Lebowski. And
that first line was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, that just asks the Gophers how fun it is to defend, Bessie. 4 games and he scores 6 goals. I mean, the kid's just phenomenal.
I know, and I had heard some people were a little worried last year. I was like, I don't think you got anything to be worried about for a guy who can get 5 goals in the state title game with those skills.
Yeah, I don't think Don Lucia would have gone wrong if you'd have recruited him. I think he might have made a good decision there.
Yeah, that's a point of contention for some people, obviously.
For me, I really hate seeing him wear Badger red. It was okay he was wearing red here, but can't stand him as a Badger.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was so sad to see Lebowski commit to Colorado College, and I just heard, as the Red Knight's going to steal it up front here, I just heard that he decided to go play juniors now just to get a lot more ice time, and certainly we have the 3-4 years of eligibility. He was one of my favorite players ever to watch in high school hockey.
And he was a great baseball player.
Yeah.
Nathan and him played.
They were 1-2 in the lineup.
Oh my God, they were just absolute joy to watch.
That's
a great save.
What a heck of a glove save. I hope, as we do have a change in net, and number 39, I don't even have the gentleman's name, number 39, Benner Bancic. It's now a freshman goalie in there.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. He's going to get a little time in there.
Yeah, nice glove save. His brother is Danny Ermancic, the second leading scorer, so I bet he's been piped
on a lot. At home. You bet he has.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always wish my younger boy would have been the goalie and the older boy would have shot at him, but I had a screwed up family. We won't go there. But
yeah, it's okay.
It starts at the top with the dad.
You brought me along tonight, so what does that tell you? Okay. There you go.
Best color man in the business, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Red Knights with another steal out front, and nothing going as well, but the Hawks are just going to dump it towards center ice. Their defense unit is going to change, and let's see if they can create some pressure here. 14 for the Hawks. Esping just going to rattle it around. He just threw it behind the net blankly. Didn't try to stop or even hold possession or anything, John.
Try to get a low shot, maybe get a rebound. You got another guy cruising in. I mean,
here's a net, possibly going to get a one-on-one here. And Derek Annette, number 2, the captain for Chaska. As we mentioned, best player for them. Nice catch on that sequence. We'll see if he can give it up. He leads his forward astray, and he slaps his stick in disgust as the pass was too far.
Well, you can sure tell the...
and net with a steal,
Lord
and then
mercy.
A couple of freight trains, and Rue goes down hard. And then we had a slash by Homers, but nothing going to be called there, I don't think.
Oh yeah, they got him.
Did they get Homers?
They got Homers for
slash?
the hold or whack or something.
Paul, do we have the replay capabilities tonight? That's an unbelievable contact play on the steal there. It was a nice play by Derek Annette, and then it was a couple of semis running into each other here. There's Rue 10. Watch what happens. Head-to-head contact. Wow.
That's called dislodging the player from the puck.
Wow. And Derek's got some size with him, and then he's Jacob
does.
Homer's not happy about the contact. Little did he know that it wasn't the net's fault, and that's what were you going to say, John?
I had Homer's older brother for football, so it was very interesting. The family had a bunch of boys go through the school, so great family.
Yeah. Hopefully, Rue's going to be okay after that hit. Boy, you talk about the head-to-head hits, and he's a tough guy.
He's a tough nut. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he had to win a lot of battles just to get a meal in the Rue house with his older brother, TJ.
He's pretty good.
He's decent.
Pretty good player over there at Grace. Oh, yeah.
All right. Going to follow in Chaska with a nice dump down, as well as Esping, who we mentioned earlier, playing with the third unit there, going to get some pressure momentarily.
Augie Moore.
Augie Moore. And Augie is TJ's younger brother,
yes,
correct?
Yeah.
And Augie out front.
Augie almost scored.
Yes, and Urbancic, the new goalie, almost gets another opportunity to show his mettle early on, the 9th grader. Boy, look at it. Oh, he actually banked. I don't know if he was going to try to bank it off the...
Tried to bank it off his back. They're very interesting.
Yeah. Well, he must be a geometry major. He knows all those angles.
And we got a lot of smart kids at school, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. I know my St. Louis Park public school education, geometry was one of those optional classes. And I sometimes option not to attend very often.
Oh, boy. I shouldn't laugh. That was probably my high school career there.
Well, I finished it at least. So
love to play sports and didn't want to go to class. That's not a good combination. So,
Homers, as we mentioned, in the box here for another 50 seconds for the Red Knights. So Chaska at least has a power play here. As we mentioned, Annette on that power play unit, by far their best player. And then obviously number 4, Zach Rodeheffer.
What a
back
great
at the
name.
point.
Rhoda Heifer.
Isn't
I like
that great? I
That's
love
phenomenal.
it. Here's another great one. Connor Crayenbrink.
Nice.
Crayenbrink out there. Andrew McClure. Wrist shot thrown on net off the face-off win by
He's good
Mr.
position goalie. He
Jungle.
sits out there and
Yeah.
he doesn't seem very flappable. He's pretty relaxed.
Well, and I had
ninth grader. Holy mackerel.
And I had never seen 4 goalies warm up before a game ever.
Oh, wow.
They had all 4 warming up, and I was just like, who are they going to pick? But that's great too, to get him some work with the season, kind of in a rough spree anyway.
Sure.
Still 40 seconds left in the Hawks power play. We'll see if they can materialize anything. This is Roan towards center ice, getting some help. Nicely done there as Andrew McClure going to work behind the net, and he's erased with a beautiful clean check on behind the goal. Rhoda Heifer on that short wall, still with the puck. Rhoda Heifer,
nice job.
Yeah, he tried to get an angle there. Jungle's going to be, oh my heavens.
Number 2, that young man, I bet he was a football player for Chaska.
Yeah, he's my, I don't know, I hope we have that one. He's at, that's
Lord.
a net again, as watch him try to line up
Bring the
Jungles.
hips.
He's a little late.
Bring the hips here. Watch this.
But watch the door there.
That is nice hips.
Wow.
Very nice.
I tell you, a net, I don't know if if they got a cold compress. And the best part for Red Knight fans is it didn't even slow the momentum down with Jungle. So yeah, that's John. That's this man. This is Derek Annette, by far their leading scorer, and he supported well on that play. We should mention he came back to support as one of the defensemen had pinched in, and Annette supported, and it was good to see that he can skate backwards so well.
Hey, he likes to go forward and run people over. That's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, and John, I know he doesn't have any football eligibility, and the transfer paperwork can't be arranged at this point, but.
No, but that'd be kind of fun to see what he does with cleats and,
Yes, absolutely. So, even though he's not much of the story, we hope Derek Annette's okay after the first period here. For the Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knights, 3 first-period goals by Zach Ristow and obviously Will Duda, and then I believe Ristow with the third one. That young man, Jalen Long, I think only saw one kind of shot, and hopefully that'll expand, but
they might have to get a cattle prod out there just to make sure he's still awake in that net, because he was going to sleep there for a while. There's not a lot going on down there.
Yeah, and it's sadly one of the games I noticed the highest shot total the Red Knights had this season so far was 55.
Yikes.
This is definitively a game where they could, if Coach Pauly, keeps the thing going in the third period, where you could see 60, 70 shots easily. So
the way they're moving the puck, they definitely could.
And if you're Coach Snuggerud, obviously he comes back to coach his son for a couple years as a senior now, and these are tough situations. But senior night here at the Rec Center. This is John Hanks, head football coach at BSM. We're just going to ask John a couple questions before we break for the first intermission. And then second intermission, stick with us here live tonight as Ken Pauly is going to walk the walk, hopefully. He has promised that he's going to come up after the second period ends immediately.
And we're going to fight because he's a Wayzata guy and I'm a Robbinsdale guy, so we may get after it a little bit in front of the cameras. It could be kind of fun.
Did you hear that, folks? The rivalry. And, we're all similar in ages. I think he's 82 Wayzata. I'm an 83
I'm
Parkhead.
84, and I had to go to Cooper when they closed Robbinsdale. But
that was a shame that Robbinsdale closed in 82. But
they closed a lot of great schools back then with Lincoln and one of the Edina schools, and the Metro was gigantic, and all of a sudden we didn't have a lot of people in the school districts, so the schools had to close.
Yeah, I
tough.
remember. And that 82 year, we can ramble about whatever we want. That 82 year with Robbinsdale closing, and then I think the year before Edina East and West merged, and then there used to be that Golden Valley High School. You had the Highway 100 shutdown session right there.
It was like taking them all away.
But we're going to talk about some fun stuff. As I mentioned, John and I have known each other for 11 or 12 years, and the fact that he still returns my texts and calls tells me that at least there's some relationship there we can draw on. It might be more of a shame, shame or scorn that I have to be by myself, but that's okay. Whatever I needed to do to get him here, you got to correct me. You got to make me feel good.
Always a lot of fun to be with you, and we spent a lot of time together coaching our kids in baseball, and it's all about relationships, and thank God we're still friends, and I didn't run you off, so it's good.
Well, and I just want to say, we're Thursday night here. John, longtime postal employee downtown. John's has had a really long day, as he always does. He works third shift, and then he had some duties this morning, and then working on the automobile all day. I got a text from John, and then he rushed over here. So I don't know if anybody from the downtown post office is listening, But if you see John on the throwing the mailbags around, and he might be a little tired.
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
We got going on. Oh, there's Houseman.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing nothing tonight. My off nights are Thursday, Friday, so Friday nights I can make our varsity football games, and been doing it for 21 years, and it works for football, but it puts a lot of stress on your family life. So,
yeah. You and Ron Boley, my good friend too. Ron has been a machinist for I think 16 years now, and he's been working third shift too. And Ron and John and I coached baseball together for 4 years, I think.
Heck yeah.
And John's boy Nathan and my boy Ryan are similar in ages. And boy, first of all, what a really great career Nathan had as well. Not only academically at BSM, but all the involvement he had. And then just love to see him, defensively play second for the Red Knights. And he had a great junior gold experience here too. I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that, because Park's the St. Louis Park youth program, the Bantam numbers went from 27, now they're up to almost 50. And it looks like maybe perhaps as early as next year, there might be a second junior gold team, which might take some of the Park players as well. And I'd just love you to talk about that.
It's when he was a sophomore and he tried out for Benilde's hockey team, and unfortunately he did not make the squad, and it was probably my mistake to have him try out. He had a concussion the last game of the season. It was a varsity game, and he was a sophomore and got his bell rung by a Chisago Lakes player, and it was really difficult, and I let him try out, and I probably shouldn't have, and I should have went to Ken and said he's not ready because he still has a concussion, but he was bound and determined to do it. Was a phenomenal football player for us for the next 2 years as a
what
junior
a wide
and senior.
out and at great speed.
Led us in receptions and yardage, and was second on the team in touchdowns. And he was a captain.
Yeah.
And with baseball, he was around 500 hitting all year.
And the bunts he could lay down, the sacrificing, and we worked. You and I, I'd like to think that.
He led the team in steals. He was, just a fun player to watch, and it is so difficult to play sports for your father, and then to play at our school. It was very difficult. What's up, boys?
John,
it was very difficult to not make the hockey team, but that junior gold experience, a lot of these kids that got cut from Benilde's team went on, and that experience for 3 years to watch those kids play.
Right.
And absolutely, I mean, you're playing Edina, Wayzata, Minnetonka, Eden Prairie, all the big schools that have enough kids to form a junior gold program. What's up, boys? It was just a thrill, and I know it wasn't high school hockey, but I'll tell you what, I would have put.
It was you could have beaten all kinds
my
of
goodness!
teams
I would have loved to have seen just a scrimmage with Benilde and that junior gold team to see how that would have panned out, because it was, we might have been a step slower, but. The kids were bright. They could handle a puck, and they're just some phenomenal, just young men. So it was all good.
And you know as well as I do, when there's 70, 80 kids trying out for the varsity and JV at BSM, Nathan was a great Bantam A player in the Storm program, which, by the way, that was a third-place state team. Talk about the kids that were on that team. Evans, they're at the U, and
that Bantam
Hassel's
team,
having a great year at Maple Grove. And
80 kids tried out for that Bantam A team. They kept 18, and you had Collins and
Glover
and Jack Jablonski and Zach Hale. Nathan
Keegan
played
Iverson.
On those. Keegan wasn't a part of that team.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he had decided to go to juniors.
That's right.
And but if he had stayed, oh my God,
Yeah.
It was a fun team, and Heimbold was on that team. Peter was.
And you mentioned Zach Hale, who I thought was really a fantastic.
I think one of the best hockey players. He never really panned out here at Benilde, but he was just. That Bantam team, I still say to this day, I haven't watched any high school teams, come close to the way those kids played hockey. It was amazing to watch. They were just fun. And Jack Jablonski,
Jack Jablonski.
Everybody knows Jack's story, but you want to talk about a kid that could put the puck in the net, and then, win, lose, or draw, get off the ice and have this huge smile on his face. They loved every minute of it, and it was contagious for the rest of those players. And it's a great group of kids. That's what I think is more the story of that team, is those kids really loved each other and just played their tails off for each other. So
I went to 3 games that year, and I saw Nathan play a couple of times junior gold, but that Bantam season, what I really was amazed by was, oftentimes in hockey or football, the teams are really close. If you got good captain leadership and a good leader above, the kids will bond. They'll spend time together on the weekends. But from everybody I've talked to, I couldn't believe how many activities those kids did outside of their 6 days a week of hockey and everything else.
Multiple sport athletes. You know, you had soccer players, football players, you had baseball kids, and you know, there was only a few of them that really specialized and just focused on hockey. And you know, it's paid off for Glover and Collins. Those guys are playing for the Gophers, and unfortunately for Zach Hale, it didn't. But he's out east, and he's doing. I think he's playing a little East hockey out there. So, you know, I wish him the best. His mom and dad were great people, and I just thought the world of Zach. You know, and they were over at the house, and
yeah, I was going to say,
they would Jack Chablatsky and Zach and Nathan.
They got through the gates to get into your home there.
They got through all the dogs, and you know, they would go in the basement and they would hook up that crazy NHL, you know, 2009 or 10 or whatever year it was.
Sure.
And they would play it. I would leave for work. They'd play all night long. I'd come home in the morning, and that thing would be smoking on top of my TV. That's how long they were playing.
They made sure to go to bed at 7.
Oh, jeez. That was a lot of fun. They were great kids, boy.
And, you know, I've told you that on a personal level so many times, but Nathan, in my opinion, was the most respectful, honest, sincere kid I ever dealt with coaching in baseball for those years. He would look you in the eye, please, thank you, all the manners, and I know you know that, but you know, I'm glad he's having.
It's a tough household to be brought up in. You asked my oldest.
Yeah,
you asked Christine about the battles we had, and
yeah,
and she'll tell you she's a better person because of it. But you know, discipline starts in the home, and I don't think that you know, a lot of people struggle with that. They don't want to discipline their kids, but there has to be parameters, and there has to be consequences for your actions, whether they're positive or negative. So
yeah,
I think Nathan learned from our oldest, and he was an absolute joy to coach, but he was also, he never gave us a lick of trouble.
No, exactly.
I mean,
and the choices he made for friends he made in different types of his life too,
and you're
were
known
always
by the friends
positive
you
ones.
keep.
Yeah,
you absolutely are. So he made some great choices, and he's having his hands full up at UMD. That university stuff's a little rougher. We got a text from him the other day, and he said, "This is really hard." You know, it's going to be hard when you're trying to be an engineer, boy. So
well, good for him. He's obviously got the Sean and John Hanks intelligence quotient.
No,
so
he got my wife's intelligence and my dad's intelligence, but that skipped the gene. It did not go through this body right here. No.
I was trying to set up a nice compliment for John. He turned it down. We'll have to deal with that.
I know better.
We're going to step away for about a minute here. I'm going to stick with us on 16. We got this exciting second period. John Hanks along with John Fromm. Stay with us on 16.
Introducing a new day of the week. Someday. Now, everything you were going to do someday is on the calendar. Want to retire someday? You'll really want this. A My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov. You can estimate your future benefits and manage current benefits online. Millions of people have a My Social Security account. Get yours today, because someday is here at socialsecurity.gov.
We're back at the St. Louis Park Rec Center for the second period. The Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knights really having a field day against the Chaska Hawks. Through one period, not only 3 Red Knight goals, but an amazing statistic just brought up to me by Craig House Roberts. Craig does all the stats. 27 shots attempted by Benilde in the first period. 12 went through. 3 goals were scored. And unfortunately for the Hawks, no shots on net and only 1 shot attempted. So hopefully Chaska and Coach Snuggerud can at least pull the reins through a little bit and get some forward momentum here for period 2. Teams are going to switch. Teams are going to switch angles, and the Red Knights will be going right to left in the second period. That long change second period is one of the toughest things when you lack the foot speed that Chaska is lacking, because it's tough to make the change if you have to go so far in the other end to change your defenseman especially. So off the face-off win, a nice break this time, and here is Danny Urbanczyk. Urbanczyk 8. Nice job as he gets some forward momentum there. He's got Derek Annette out there with the first line, as well as Jake Snuggerud, number 9. We're going to see this first line a lot, I have a feeling. So nice job by Urbanczyk to get some early pressure here to start the second period. That one going to be thrown down. Icing going to be waved off as I think they hit one of the Red Knight sticks and whittled down. Hawks going to change the entire unit here early on. And cross-ring pass to Duda, and Duda's going to hit the line and try to backhand it in. Unfortunately for Duda, Andrew McClure gets a stick on it. McClure has been moved back to defense here in the second period, it looks like. And he's paired out there with Micah Roan, number 29. So McClure pursuing the Red Knight attacker. Lawton at the point, over to Heimbold. Peter, nice pass, cross ice, and Duda goes for another goal. Wrister, he shot that beautiful, and he shot that beautifully against the grain to that far side. Yeah, I mean, that's really well done.
I mean, the tic-tac-toe passing and sharing the puck, I mean, that's how you have a lot of success. Yeah. Move the puck. I mean, this is just fun to watch. Yeah, the unselfish play. Here's a possible break for Chaska, a little one-on-one situation. Whoa, a slap shot attempted by Krayenbeck there, and nobody home there, unfortunately for him. All that did is hit Nick Austin's knee pads fully. Nick went down about 5 minutes before that shot took off. It was very interesting. Yeah, he does a toe drag. He walks in alone.
He had no thought that the guy was going to make a move on him whatsoever. Yeah. That's really when you feel bad for Chaska when they're other teams.
And the Benilde kids will be trying all that fun stuff, and it might drive Kenny out a window.
Exactly. Well, we've got him hopefully for
here's
the start.
A break.
Danny Urbanczyk still in on the forecheck. Chaska getting a little more pressure with their first unit here. Looks like they're just going to roll 2 lines early on here to try to really shorten the bench and at least get their best players out there. Maybe they'll utilize a lot of icings. Chip pass goes towards center ice by Arnett. Nobody home there as he tried to hit Osell.
Not a lot of people can catch puck in the air like that, like Austin did. That was pretty neat.
And is Nick Austin Johnny Austin's brother too?
Yes.
Yeah, see all the family ties. And here's Rue, speaking of family ties, Rue to Jungles. Jungles gets an ankle on it and he sweeps it home. Wow, I hope we have the replay of that. It was like 1-on-3 and he still got the puck and racked it into the net there over to beat Urbanczyk, the freshman goalie.
Yeah, interesting to watch the goalie make first, second, third save, and then it's the fourth one that gets him. You know, that's a great save right there.
Right, and this defenseman on the weak side, they're just I'm not trying to be critical, but just standing there for 3-4 seconds.
You know, feel free to occupy that guy in the crease and make his life miserable. You know, that's a green light. Go get him.
And that's the kind of play, honestly, and I know you would feel this way as a coach too, where I would literally almost, if I saw that, I would literally almost take a timeout and say, guys, we might lose by 15 goals, but we're not going to just let a kid stand there unmolested, and you're going to be aggressive. So the whole line chips in on that goal. The whole, I believe, Chase Jungles, Carter Rue, and I don't know if that was Kasky who got the other assist, but
they all touched the puck.
Yep, Jungles definitely gets on the board. So having a tough time making out which one of the coaches on the Hawks bench is Dave Snuggerud, but I sure remember him, boy. There's a nice wrister by Rista on the replay again. Good camera work, good close-ups.
Oh yeah.
Except on the announcers.
No, you don't want that. You want the cameras to be in one piece.
Oh, there's a nice turnaround attempt for the Red Knights as the fourth unit getting some excellent work out there with Shada Sky Brown out there. Here's Dylan Hewitt at the point, 14, gonna cross it over to his friend. Hewitt going to pinch down and try to hold in. The junior going to work it behind the net.
Great move.
Occupied, and that one is a nice Sky Brown going to get that. Sky Brown 17 in his first varsity game for the Red Knights. Coach Pauly wanted me to mention that. 6 goals in 10 JV games this year, so still at the point. Hewitt going to redirect here. That line is centered by Nick Sims and also has Jack Quaylen on the weak side. Quaylen camped out front for the Red Knights. Back to Hewitt again, and he's really getting a chance to practice his slap shot.
I guess.
So, and that's a one really good thing for those kids that maybe don't get a lot of varsity minutes when you're playing Eden Prairie, Wayzata. When you have some games where you can get a comfortable lead, it's really nice to reward those kids with a lot of minutes as the game goes on too.
It's tough. You know, they had Eden Prairie a couple nights ago, and it was a tough night for Benilde, but again, Eden Prairie, you know, top 3 in almost every year in the state for hockey, so they are a powerhouse and they're a good program. So
nice reward though, and great to see the 3rd and 4th unit getting a lot of ice. Here's Jack Lawton, one of the seniors, going to work it around the corner as he's going to circle the wagons. Short angle, shallow angle shot that's another nice save by Urbanczyk as Jack Lawton had plenty of room to operate and went all the way around the cage, John.
Well, this little guy here, I tell you what, he may be something Benilde might have to worry about next 2-3 years playing Chaska.
Yeah.
I know the conference is for next 2 years for football anyways is we will not be playing them, so I don't know if hockey will be, but
yeah,
unfortunately I love playing the Chaskas and Chanhassens, and they're just a lot of kids. They have great football teams, and their hockey team might be struggling a little bit here, but our team's pretty good.
And
so
they had a few years ago, they really had a good year. I think it was 4 years ago, so hopefully they had the problem where Chaska and Chanhassen were combined for youth hockey and for a while for varsity.
A lot of good kids that got cut and didn't get to play because of that. So.
And I think they really had a problem, John, in talking to a friend of mine, where for some reason when Holy Family came on the scene out there, because Chaska and Chanhassen split, I think they really lost a lot of kids that, not even related to, religion, related more to things like that. So
Holy Family's has done a nice job with the hockey team, and then Dave over there with their football program. They have a great football program, and they're at our scrimmage every year, and we love playing them because they do some good things. So
that was Lawton, who had a couple attempts at shots. One of the follows by Jerry Callinger there didn't go home. Red Knights can operate again with Nick Austin. Beautiful catch by Rue. Rue, wrist shot, no fake. Throws it out front, pipe, rebound. Wow. Rue, Kask,
I think
and
four
Jungles
guys touched it inside the zone. That's pretty impressive.
3 seconds. I thought we were going to get a shot. We got a pass, then Kasky dumps down. Watch the sequence here. Rue with the steal, cross ring to Kasky. Jungles stick on the ice. Shot hits. I thought it hit the post, and maybe it bounced off the post and hit Jungles. I thought I heard the post.
Great hands.
Boy, so Jungles again, first unit adding some statistics so far here. That was a great sequence, though. Kasky, as you know, too, love to see those kids with the sticks on the ice.
Yep.
So many times you see those kids that they're not paying attention fully, so. Kasky again in Jungles here. Kasky going to stay onside barely here. Cross ring pass, backdoor as well. Kasky off a skate. Urbanczyk, I don't know how we even saw that, but it was another tic-tac-toe play by the first unit. And freshman goalie Ben Urbanczyk really having a nice set of work here, as we mentioned, only a 9th grader.
So Benilde had 12 shots the first period, and Chaska had 0.
And John, not only that, but
yikes,
they only had 1 attempt at a shot, and Benilde had 27 attempts.
Holy moly, Batman.
I mentioned it when you were holding court up there with Craig House-Roberts. That's really hard to see. So Dylan Hewitt back at defense, going to hold it in for the Red Knights. Here's Jacob Holmers, 21. Has an assist on the game. Taken away, and here's a break. Oh, Danny Urbanczyk, nobody home there as he was trying to pass it to Annette. Annette, who had a couple big shots in the first period he took.
He does not get knocked off his feet.
Here he's got the puck here. Annette towards center ice. Tried to split the forwards. Here's a 3-on-1 opportunity for BSM. Backdoor passes. Oh, wow. And nice. We got to say nice where nice is due. Andrew McClure on his own there was able to get a stick on it for Chaska. And Hewitt's shot goes wide of the net here at 10:15. Brett Newhouse, he's going to throw it on net. That hit off a set of skates. Oh, wow. There would have been a great opportunity at a stuff play, John.
Yes. That was, wow. I tell you, he impresses me just by the way he moves in the net. And he's not, he doesn't seem rattled. He's out there just, doing what he does, cutting down angles. And I tell you, that was fun to watch.
And he had a tough read on that. I think he thought Kasky was going to stop right behind the net. He didn't, but, they're coming fast and furious.
Oh. Yeah, for a 9th grader, I imagine this is eye-opening.
Yeah, I would say. Lawton at the point, cross rink down there. And another problem that the Hawks really have, John, is as Benilde going to just still play catch there, Lawton. 9 freshmen listed on the 24-person varsity roster.
Yeah, that's tough.
I don't know if that means they don't have a Bantam A or B1 team even. I really don't know, so. Hopefully they'll get it right. And wow, and a nice check in the Hawk zone.
To the head,
Yeah, I'm not sure if we got a number for that freight train, but I think that was it number
17 maybe? Brown or is it? No,
I think that's
number 2. Was Quayle?
Oh, I thought it was Sky Brown, but it's number 2, Jack Quaylen, who I know from Little League days and also Plymouth Little League and also Armstrong Hockey. I don't know if you remember that young man's name, but so Jack Quaylen shaking his head. says it's it's never a
He's
penalty.
lucky he didn't get one because I think he might have got part of that young man's head.
Boy. So the Hawks going on the power play again here. They had one power play in the first period. Here's a cross-ring pass to Duda. Duda, potential break, but good speed by Rodeheffer. Able to catch up to Duda, and here is Zach Rodeheffer, 4. Hits center ice where he's going to pass it to Annette. Annette taps it beautifully to himself. Throws it on net, first shot of the goal, and a shot and a follow that time. So 2 attempts that time, and 1 on net by Annette there. As he got some help from Urbanczyk, the forward. Annette take it down there momentarily.
No way. How did he get knocked down?
Jeez, I was going to say. 3 on 2 for the Red Knights. Again, Chaska on the power play. Cross rink over to Duda. Backhand effort goes off. Rodeheffer skates. And that was a, Zach Rodeheffer, we haven't called many of the Chaska players' names, but that was good speed to corral down Duda, possibly from behind. And then at least he was able to get the puck up to Annette. And there you see 2 nice saves by Long, who, as we mentioned, didn't have any in the first period. So, yeah, nice to see that Annette and Urbanczyk and Snuggerud line can gel some things offensively. Off the face-off win, BSM controls, and we're going to have a stoppage. Maybe a center ice face-off. It's coming fast and furious. If you just joined us tonight, these teams are in the newly formed Metro West Conference, where BSM leads with a 5-0 score tonight, and they're also 5-0, soon to be 6-0 on the conference season. And there's a shot all the way down on net, and Mr. Jungles, who decided that everybody needs a close shave.
Oh, yeah.
Freshmen deserve
Give him a little bath. Just say hi.
Nicely done when you're killing that way.
Well, yeah, it's been tough for Chaska tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Hawks off the face-off win here this time. They're going to break it down defensively. And here is Jake Rohn. Jake Rohn on the forecheck there. Going to try to ride his BSM player off, but Lawton going to take it away, and they're going to start things the other way. On their horses, here's Kasky as he's got Jungles with him. Kasky going to hit the corner, work it all the way around the net. Beautiful puck possession. We'll see. Oh, he tried to go back door there, and unfortunately for Mr. Jungles, he wasn't able to see that. Shot around by Lawton to Kasky, and they're just playing catch out here. I wonder if they're going to throw it back. And now that Kasky is able to turn over the puck. So 30 seconds remain on the power play. And the Hawks going to try to break it out again with speed, but Mr. Kasky going to do a nice job trying to ride off Sam Esping, but Esping able to shoot it down as the Hawks finish their change at least. And BSM going to dump it down, and that'll pretty much do it. 10 seconds remaining in the power play here. Pierce and Jacobson behind the net for the Hawks. Rodeheffer back out there. What were you going to say, John? Excuse me.
It just seemed like Benilde was on the power play there with the amount of time they actually had puck possession. So it's just hard. This is really tough for Chaska. But you can tell this is the speed of the Benilde players. They can really motor. And the transition, it's just so critical. The kids know how to transition because you got to go from backwards to forwards in the blink of an eye. So
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Absolutely. Rue up as a BSM back at full strength here. The Rue line out there again.
This line is dangerous, boy.
Yep, Peter Heimbold cross ice diagonal pass, nicely done, thrown a little high on net. Otherwise, Cade Gleekle would have found his name in the score. And Annette gets the high up pass. Derek Annette looking for some help for the Hawks. He's going to throw it towards the net again, but he wasn't able to beat Nick Austin. But nice opportunity at the home run play there, at least for the Hawks.
He got a shot.
Whoa, Rodeheffer takes a high check and goes hard to the ice. Nice step up by Annette again. We call his name and Rodeheffer all the time here for the Hawks. There's Rodeheffer, tries to finish a check, unable to do so. Good follow play and a nice save and a follow that time by Duda. Duda, walked in unmolested. And
these kids are tired, boy. Look at the legs of the Chaska kids. They are just exhausted.
Yeah, and these second period long changes when you're not a fast skating team, to try to make those changes are just awful. Oh, there's another nice save by Urbanczyk.
He's just hanging in there, I tell you.
Yeah, he didn't start the game, but he came in, and I tell you, I hope that Coach Snuggerud, I hope this young man has earned plenty of other playing time and a nice future. Here's Jacob Holmer's cross-rink pass and a nice dive play that time, and a breakup by Esping in front of the net. Urbanczyk in a hold again, and even even in a sequence like that, was that number 22 for BSM? I'm not sure who that was, but I don't even know if they have a 22, but whoever, maybe it was Jacob Holmers who was really digging or more at the puck there. Okay. And Urbanczyk was left on his own. His defensemen weren't even making any sequence to try to push back. So
They got too many guys.
I don't think it's a bad rule. They had 6 skaters.
They had 6 skaters. Okay.
And the referee's like, I think he was going to be fine with it, truthfully. I don't think Ken Pauley would have said anything
Kenny
either.
would have probably been okay. Just let him go.
Urbanczyk as he hits the... and
Oh,
here's
wow.
a nice cross-ring
That's a
pass and a
great catch.
breakaway by Moore. Beautiful. And a follow and a nice goal. Wow. I don't know what you say there. Zach Ristow gets another goal.
Mackerel. That pass from, who is that?
Pass from the defender
from
back in the
Augie?
Red Knight zone. Yeah, and then it was Augie who fit
Augie
it back
gives
to
him a
him.
great pass.
And even the first pass sequence to get it to the far blue line.
Jeepers, that was phenomenal.
And look at that backhand, and then he goes to the backhand and throws through the 5-hole. That's literally like textbook hockey in every way. You're happy with your defenseman for having good vision to hit a guy in stride.
That's really, he just got the hat trick.
I don't know who, and I was going to say, I don't know, it was one of the right-handed shooting defensemen for BSM. I don't know if it was Peter or possibly
19 got the goal. That was Zach.
And it was
from Augie Moore.
Augie Moore, and then the right-handed shooting defenseman. I'm not sure who that is. I think there's only, that was Newhouse, I guess, who threw it all the way down.
Unreal.
Beautiful pass by the Union D1 commit, Ben Newhouse. And Cade Gleagle going to have that pop over the net. Still operating in the Chaska zone exclusively. Dylan Hewitt out to the point. Passes it over to Newhouse. Thrown on net. Whoa. Follow play. Urbanczyk throws that pad down and slides over and is able to corral that. So nice job again, we want to say there. BSM moving it around. Jack Whalen with an opportunity there. Here's Dylan Hewitt going to cross rink it over to Newhouse. Ben, as we mentioned, I believe, I know it's at least his 3rd, if not his 4th year on the varsity.
I think so.
And as we take a look at right in front of us, a nice shot of Ben Urbanczyk, the goaltender. Chased off by Jungles and finally broken to center ice and dumped down nicely that time by Jake Roan, number 17 for the Hawks on the forecheck. Hawks now have all 3 forwards deep in the Benilde zone, and that causes a problem. Backhand pass thrown on net and another goal by Mark Haskey. And John, we talked about that in the first period. Chaska never, they were just sending one guy in on the forecheck. I don't know if we could follow that replay, but for some reason their 2 other forwards drifted into the zone, even though the BSM defenseman had the puck. And
yep, they got caught.
Right, take a look there,
that
folks.
First outlet pass.
Oh man,
yeah.
So great
move
camera
by
work.
Jungles. He got through there, and what a great pass across.
And I got to say, great camera work for our guys too, and just to get that as well and see that. So a lot of things. Hopefully, Coach Snuggerud can build on too, and you talked about teaching. Hopefully there's a lot of teaching moments if they break down this video. Nice save with the blocker by Urbanczyk.
If they're as young as they are with all those 9th graders, in a couple of years, they're going to be just fine.
Yep. They're going to lose a net, and they're going to lose one other senior, Jake Snuggerud, but they've got Rhoda Heffer back. And the big, one of the big problems that I saw, John, is another opportunity. Backhand chip.
Wow.
Whoa. Unfortunately for the Red Knights, Callinger had that go right over the goaltender. Here's a 1-on-1 or 2-on-1. Annette going to receive the pass. Beautifully done by Urbanczyk. Annette to the net and a goal.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry, not a goal.
I think we
got a
little
play.
hook or a little hold or something.
Wow, nicely done by that first unit. Urbanczyk, the older one, because we got Ben, his younger brother, in net. Danny,
nice
their second leading scorer, going to get this pass, and Annette shows off some good wheels he has, and a nice chip pass. That's a great sequence for the Hawks. Beautiful back check as well by Cade Gleagle. And it does prevent that. Cade's going to get sent to the sin bin to think about things, and the Hawks might even take a timeout here. I'm not sure. They're going to try to regroup and get. I thought that was a goal, though, they were almost going to get. So Gleagle for holding at 4:04 here in the second period. BSM retains their 7-0 advantage here. And hopefully the Hawks can gain some offensive zone time, if nothing else, on this power play, as the last one, they didn't have any offensive zone time. So puck is shot towards the blue line and redirected down behind the BSM cage. McClure back there along with Esping. BSM going to try to break it out. Rhoda Heffer on the forecheck as he tries to hold it in. Rhoda Heffer pushing one of the BSM skaters. Nicely done for the BSM skater, Jack Lawton, who has 2 Chaska guys on him, and he still maintained the puck. Beautiful stop move.
Nice.
And boy, what a nice job move by Zach Ristow. Ristow goes to, he tried to almost toe drag it towards the middle, short-handed.
He did. He tried to toe drag it. Thought he might be a little shifty there.
Augie Moore out there. Here's Lawton and Ristow again. One-on-one. Nice pass to Jack Lawton. Thrown on net under Bancek. Real square, good angle to the puck, and he stops the Jack Lawton effort. Talked a little bit about, I know Ken Pauley was really happy Jack got a goal the other night on Saturday to break a goal-scoring streak, and he's really fourth year in the program at Benilde and third year on the varsity. I know he got to be happy to. Of course, Brian Lawton, his father, was a big North Star and
absolutely
agent. So here's Rue behind the Chaska net. Still 50 seconds on the power play for the Hawks. We'll see if they can get something going. They've got a young man cherry picking all the way down. Oh, they're going to ice it.
Oh, darn it. How about that?
Yeah, that's tough to see, as unfortunately Jake Rohn was trying to find Crayon Brink. I apologize, fans. I usually am really good with the lines, but the Chaska players haven't touched the puck enough.
Your printing is horrible. You can't even read your own writing. Goodness sakes. What is that?
Not only that, John,
it looks like hieroglyphics from like the 15th century. What is that? Oh my goodness.
Well, and not enough of these players are touching the puck.
Okay.
So who says I'm a professional?
It's all good.
That's a good point. I'm glad you got me on that, though, John. Those
the interesting part about watching them and then watching Benilde, you see Benilde kids are looking, they skate to open ice and they're throwing the puck to open ice. And Chaska, the kids are standing where people are instead of moving to open space. And it's, that's why they've had such success, and Chaska's been struggling tonight.
Good point, really good point. Cal Pierce had the shot on goal this time, as the power play is going to be ending here for Bancek at center ice. He's got a net out there, and that's going to wheel offside. He's got a retouch for the Hawks. So Benilde kills off another power play very easily. And Peter Heimbold, as we mentioned, the junior, going to cross rink it, and I believe he's going to get a break there. Oh, nicely done on the forecheck that time, as it looked like Nick Sims got a nice forecheck.
Wow.
Nick Sims on the back door. Oh, it hits off his skate. He's not able to whack it in, but nice chance there by Nick.
You see that turn by Rue? That was ridiculous. It was like turned on a dime. Full speed. Now, that's the kind of stuff you got to have. You're going to play hockey. You got to be able to turn quickly.
Right. Well,
that was awesome.
Yeah, and there's so many 180s, and then even the pick plays too, where the guys are where you cross, etc., at center ice and create an angle there. Duda at center ice with Sims, and here is Sims again. Nick going to throw a wrist shot, and Urbancic just going to cover there. Still a minute left in the second period. John, we're supposed to be joined by Ken Pauley. Stick around at the start, or at the end of the second period. We've only got 2 sets of microphones here. I have some questions written, but it's really of a general nature. Would you like to just talk to Ken a little bit, or do you want me to take the reins? It's totally up to you.
No, because the only thing me and Ken do is fight. So it's,
he's scared of the head football coach. I think there's an intimidation factor there.
I don't think so.
But great to have you, and really happy with Ken. Hopefully he'll stop up and see if what his plans are. John, it's going to be a great matchup on Tuesday, though, and Wayzata comes calling.
Oh, Nelly, that's going to be fun.
I was mentioning before, as we went on air, that the way it looks right now, Eden Prairie's clinched the first seed in 6AA. Wrist shot thrown on net by Lawton. Boy.
Nice tip by Caskey out front.
BSN operating in almost an umbrella offensively. Here's Cassidy at the top of this point. Lawton going to hold it in this time. Jack Quaylen on the forecheck. Oh, Quaylen going to try to make contact with one of the Hawks. Going to be thrown down. And BSM going to return things up the wall here. BSM hits center ice. Quaylen gives it up to Jungles. Jungles has it poked off his stick.
Has he got like 50 shots on that? This is
just
nuts.
Easily. Well, it was, and the amazing thing is 27 shot attempts. Supposedly, according to House, only 12 went through in the first, but House, I don't know if House has got an abacus up there to keep track of the shots. But
he has trajectory and geometry in there? What's he doing?
House does a great job.
He is.
Boy, yeah.
Great statistician.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. So just 20 seconds remain here in the second period. BSM up 7-0. Oh, crossed ice, camped in front of the net. Was that Quaylen? Yeah, Quaylen trying to get his first varsity goal. Only the third game for Jack Quaylen on the varsity. So just 5 seconds remain here, and they'll pretty much do second period. John, your thoughts after 2 as we wait for Coach Pauly?
It's just, you tell the skating and the stick handling and the way the kids move to find open ice. It's just like, it's night and day. It really is. And Chaska will get better. They're extremely young, so.
Yeah, and you know, it's, you know, hopefully Coach Snuggerud will get a copy of this disc, probably turn down the volume so he doesn't have to hear us.
Oh, absolutely.
Or at least part of maybe one of the mics can be turned off. But hopefully he can, you know, some of the small things that you and I have seen unrelated to the speed of the defenders or the breakouts,
he'll get them back to where they, you know, need to be. And it's just an experience thing. You can tell Benilde is very experienced. Their kids have a great flair for the game, and they understand what Kenny wants executed on the ice. So it's something to watch. Boy, they're fantastic skaters. That's for sure.
Hey, John, real quick before hopefully Coach Pauly joins us, talk a little bit about your long time being the head football coach at BSM. Before that, you were an assistant. You also coached at a number of other schools, played a little bit for the Gophers. I know you've done a great job, and we've enjoyed covering your games on 16. Tell everybody about the summer camp you guys have, if any of the kids watching might be interested in your camp for football.
We do, our camp is from June 8th to the 12th. After that, we take the kids up to UMD on the 15th, 16th, and 17th, and it's usually our varsity kids, and we play against South St. Paul, Elk River, Apple Valley, teams like that show up. There's about 20 teams that come to the games and are up to UMD, and it's a phenomenal experience for them. And after that, we get into our strength and conditioning program. It's 4 days a week. We got 7 and 7 on Wednesdays, and it gets very involved after that. There's, you know, the kids are really dedicated and they love what they're doing. So,
well,
I got to get out now.
As John Hanks steps away, we're going to bring in another head coach of the BSM program. I don't know if you get the camera back up. As Coach Hank's going to hand off to Coach Pauly. You don't often see that. It's nice for John to be unselfish there and give up the headset for you.
Oh, he's all about the team. He's all about the team.
He sure is, and he had a lot of glowing things to say about the teamwork as well as the unselfish play. Your thoughts after 2 periods? I know it's not exactly an easy game to get a.
Yeah, it is tough. You know, whenever you have senior night, I thought the first period was actually a little bit ratty. I thought we were, and that's rather typical of senior night.
Yeah.
And I think we're driving the net real well. You know, Chaska obviously don't have our depth and they play hard, you know, around the net, but we still have to get in the habit of driving that net because we'll be playing YZ on Tuesday and they're locked down D, and we better drive the net or we're going to have problems.
Yeah, and Coach Pauly was nice enough to give you a lot of information about the game on Tuesday against Eden Prairie. We also talked a little bit about some of the things that he wants to see improvement. Why don't you just talk about what you mentioned in the note to me about the penalties and the discipline issues?
Yeah, you know, really, I mean, you know, right now, you know, our record, we stand at 12-8-2, and quite honestly, I think if we'd been a little more disciplined, I think we'd have about 3 or 4 more wins. You know, Lakeville North, you know, #1 ranked team in the state, we were 2-2, and we lost late in the game, 4 minutes left on what? A penalty.
Yeah.
You know, against Eden Prairie, we had a great game going. We took a 5-minute major, and that didn't kill us as much as then the next 2 penalties we took. So you simply cannot. You have to have discipline in these games, especially when you're playing light teams. And so that's number one. We got to get more discipline. I said before, we need to drive the net. And you know, and honestly, we need to. You know, our calling card is skill, and skating and passing. But you got to put in the hard work before you can open your game up. And that's one thing. We're just, you know, those are 3 things I think I just listed. But in order to get out of our section, it's not as deep, but I mean, it's still a tough section to get out of.
Oh boy, is it ever! I looked on those ratings as you did. I believe 6 of the 7 teams in the top 27. You and Wayzata battling for the 2 seed. It looks like, depending on what happens.
Exactly. You know, and it's always that way. And you have Minnetonka, and Tonka beat us 3-2, and you know everyone kind of beating everyone. And Holy Family's dangerous.
Yeah.
Hopkins.
Michael's a good goaltender.
Oh, he is outstanding. And you know, and again, who wants in a single elimination tournament? Who wants to see the best goal in the stakes? That kid is high end. You know, and so is the Heifert kid at the Holy Family. So it's kind of it's pick your poison. That's what makes it an exciting section. But it's also, if you look at the Section 6 AA, the history of it, there has not been a repeat champion out of the section in 10 or 11 years. And that tells you something about the depth of the section. There's a reason why, you know, Edina, Hill Marie, those are great programs, but there's a reason why they go every year.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't enjoy the same depth of our section. But the truth is, this year our section, everybody's got 8 or 9 losses. So
yeah, some issues at least for once, exactly. Or
Yeah.
not issues, but
yeah, for sure. No, I'd call them issues.
yeah, your email was fair in the discussion.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Hey, I really am so glad you could join us. Just real briefly, senior night.
Yeah.
Your reflection on what happened beforehand, and just anything about a night like this and what it means as the head coach.
But yeah, it's always, I basically, I get a little more emotional the last couple weeks because you see these guys have been with you for 3 or 4 years. You got Chase Jungles and Ben Newhouse has been here since 9th grade, and Will Dude has been here for 3 years and played his Bantam hockey at Dean Prairie. But you've known these kids since 6th, 7th grade at summer camp, and they're starting to look like young men. And really in those last 2 weeks, and it's also kind of time for them to move on. So it's one of those things. It's a poignant moment because it really marks an ending, but you also have this tournament you have to play, and it really does drive home that what we do isn't just about the wins and losses. I mean, it really truly is about the relationships and the kids you coach and those bonds that are forged.
Yeah, well, and we mentioned 25th year as the head coach at BSM. I was going to games in the 70s and 80s. You and I are similar in age, but what the transformation, not a lot of people might remember where the program was in 96, 97 exactly, but the transition, obviously Troy Riddle on your staff, part of that, and the state titles, 4 state titles, and I was really happy that you guys moved and made that choice to move from A relatively early after the second title, and then one last thing. I just had a nice visit with Leslie Jablonski.
Yeah, great.
Kind of update us. I had heard Jack Jablonski started college. And
Jabby's a freshman at USC. He's complaining about the reading, and Jabby's so great. In fact, he wants me to text him or call him after the game. We were talking, talking today. So
I hope he's watching. He knows how to use the internet.
Yeah, he knows how to use the internet. He's basically literate. He's literate there. He can handle it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And then anything, I talked to Coach Hanks real briefly about his summer program that he has. I know you for incoming players as well as some kids in the junior high. You have a summer program.
Well, and St. Louis Park Rec Center is such a state-of-the-art facility, and it's just this whole area is fantastic, and it's a great opportunity for us to get together for 5 or 6 weeks, have some fun with the kids, work on some skills, and for kids to get to know each other they're going to school with. And so one advantage you have as a private school, quite honestly, is like, hey, kids do come from all over, and you're not really dependent upon a youth association. But one of the disadvantages is they don't come up together, and trying to build
the bonding.
To build that synergy and that trust is not easy. And so those summer months is really a time where we try to do that.
Right. And we had a nice visit with John about the Junior Gold program
Isn't
as well,
and
how the Flyers has been wonderful, the positive experiences and one of the hard things that you really have is when you have 80 kids trying out and 40 of them are wonderful kids, as well as 70 of them might be great players at almost any other school, and having to deal with that.
It's hard. That program's a godsend. We're so grateful for the St. Louis Park Youth Association, and when they started that program, we had a few more St. Louis Park kids there. You never know, there might be a few there again, but it's just another outlet for kids, and that's what it's about. It's about playing the game, being with your buddies, and that gives them an opportunity to do that.
And I really appreciate you coming up here. I know that the St. Louis Park Youth Program has almost doubled their Bantam numbers the last 5 years.
That's great.
And I know that's wonderful because hopefully there'll be another Junior Gold team in the future too that can help. And Tuesday night, make sure you come on out if you're watching this live. Tuesday, February 10th, the Trojans come calling. It has special significance always when you play Wayzata as a former Wayzata goalie. Or is it still
1982? Yeah, 82. That's right.
And were you, as a goalie, were you on that team when you guys played St. Louis Park in the section quarterfinals
that year? We beat them 1-0.
I was at that game. I was there.
Keith Schaefer was a coach. He was my health teacher at Wayzata. And
was he? Okay.
And we got fortunate. My friend, I wasn't playing that game. I was on the bench. I did that quite a lot my senior year.
That was a great game.
But I remember Park hit the post. It was a terrific game. Boy, we barely squeaked by. And that just shows this time of year is very special because anything can happen.
And back then, when Coach Pauly was talking about that, what I'll never forget growing up and playing hockey in Park was back with the Lake South and the Lake North back then.
That's correct.
Even though Park was often towards the bottom of the Lake South, and you guys, I think that year, were Lake North champions, but they had played a dozen games against Edina, Burnsville,
Lakeville South was the stronger of the hockey. And in football, we were stronger in Lakeville North. With Park Center used to be a power.
Exactly. Well, good memories. that's the one thing that's nice about ParkTV and cable access here. We have time to do that, and I'm really glad you could join us. And
yeah, I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
And thanks again. And yeah, it's great improvements at the rec center. And come on out on Tuesday, and then next Saturday, last regular season game. I'm sure the Park kids will be excited to try to give you some competition. I know little difference in quality this year, but yeah.
It's a great relationship. You know, we're proud to be part of the St. Louis Park community, and we're grateful for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, I was thrilled after what happened with Jack, that at least the first game back after that happened to be against Park too.
Such a blessing. It really, again, everyone's. That was never just a Benilde-St. Margaret's thing. That was a St. Louis Park youth hockey, Minneapolis youth hockey. So a lot of things going on. But I better get back to my game.
Yeah, I'll keep him here all night. We'll watch the third, and thanks again, Coach Pauly.
Yeah, keep an eye on Hanks. Keep him honest, man.
Listen, I asked him if he wanted to interview you and let you talk. He goes, no, we don't need two head coaches.
Oh, no, yeah. Who's answering, right? Who's answering the question?
Exactly.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We're going to step away for just a minute here at Park 16. Stay with us for the third period as BSM has moved to a 7-0 lead here on senior night. That was Ken Pauly, the longtime head hockey coach at Benilde-St. Margaret's. Step away, and thanks to our crew here. We'll be right back live here on February 5th. All right, we're back for the third period. John Fromm, along with BSM head coach and longtime employee, as well as I'd like to call him a friend, John Hanks.
Yeah,
to start the third period. A nice move as everything starts with Annette here, as I believe Derek Annette in the first line with Snuggerud and Urbancic with an opportunity early on, John, and hopefully the Hawks can generate something offensively. Shots on goal in the second period. I think we had 27 official shots in the second period, or 27 official shots, 40 attempted.
And tell me if you think I might be hitting the crack pipe here, but you know, when you watch Benilde move with the puck and you watch Chaska try to react, it's like watching peewees out there. They're just slapping at the puck with their stick and they're not moving their feet. I mean, this is a game of movement, and it's just, wow, it's like night and day.
Well, and it's one thing to not have the skill, but it's another thing too where your forwards and defense aren't putting in it. You're so resigned to losing that you're not even trying, and I think that unfortunately is a really hard part about what the Hawks are in right now. So
it's very difficult, but I tell you what, they're going to be better served to move their feet and not sit there and stand and watch and be a spectator.
Right, exactly.
You know, be a participant. I'll tell you what, though, I'll give that goalie a big gold sticker at the end of the game.
Well, you know what, and that's Urbancic, Ben Urbancic. We mentioned his brother, Danny, on the first line there. 9 freshmen on the Hawks team. Boy, what a difference in you know, only 2 10th graders even on the varsity for Benilde, let alone the. But one of them, we should mention Connor Mayer. We didn't talk about him yet, number 18. Ken Pauly was able to tell me, only kid in the history of the school who committed to a D1 school already as a 10th grader. I don't know, folks, if you're aware of that outside of the area here.
Where is he from? What association did he play in?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with him. I saw him earlier this year, but Connor Mayer, I mean, look at that. That's why he's going to UConn in 3 years.
He's going to play for the Huskies.
Yeah, I love that little logo they put on our sheet here.
How about that? Look at this stuff. That Union. Boy, that's going to get Don Lucia in the shorts, ain't it?
Oh. Boy, we haven't talked Gophers at all.
Because I'm so hostile right now towards the Gophers.
We're not going there.
Don't go there.
Let's be happy for Mankato.
I used to love watching them play, and it is so frustrating. And it's got to be for them too. But how would you like to be that Bemidji State team, though? How much fun are those cats doing?
Oh, my heavens. And Mankato? And that's so great for the state, you know. It really is in those schools, absolutely.
Those are all those kids that Don Lucia said, you're not good enough.
Hard enough. They all went to 2 years of juniors before, so.
They got a little salt in their system every time they play the Gophers, so it's fun to watch. God, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Good call.
But I do hate the Badgers. You can't get me to like them. I never will. And I feel bad for Grant because I give him a lot of grief when I see him in the summertime. And it's just it's a lot of fun.
To give it.
Oh yeah, I got to hand that grief out.
Okay. Oh, beautiful pad save on the Holmer's wrist shot there. A little break here as well. Possible 2-on-1 for the Hawks, but it's stolen clean away by Augie Moore here. Augie, right-handed shooter, has the puck checked off his stick. Wow, but Holmer's almost found Risto in the back door there. Back to live action. 7-0 in favor of the Red Knights in the third here. We should mention, if you want to get a copy of this game, Paul won't put this up, but you go to ParkTV.org and click on channel 16, and you can get the information on how to buy a DVD. And also,
you might have to give them their money back. I don't know. Those two clowns up here doing this.
And we have, I know I told you this, but we got all your football games on the YouTube page too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's
you
cool.
guys do a great job when you come out there. We love the fact that people are there watching our games, and then you guys are filming and doing a great job talking about our team.
No,
it's phenomenal.
It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed seeing Barry Wooler on the Orono sideline a few years ago and rapping with him.
Yep.
It was nice.
That was a phenomenal game.
Oh, was it ever?
We came from
Talk about a
wow,
you were down by, was it 28?
Down by 18 started the fourth quarter.
I got a DVD of that game, and I don't know if you have one, but we got to get you one if you don't. So.
That was a great response by our kids late in that game to come back and win, and that was a section game, so that was... Yeah, we went to the section final after that. Yikes.
Yeah, I was going to say, and De La Salle, what a tough opponent they are every year in your section, boy.
Last year we didn't play them well. The 2 years prior to that, we came down to the last play, and so we've been very competitive with them. Last year we were not. They had speed that we had not seen before. It was amazing how well they took care of the oh my God, really fast. You can't do anything with that. You've got to play with a little scheme to try to take that speed away, and it was really difficult for our kids.
Well, I was going to say, too, I had a chance to see, we're not trying to, the game's a little bit out of hand, so we're letting the play speak for itself, but I had a chance to watch De La Salle's basketball team 2 weeks ago. Wow, if some of those kids were on the football team, that is an amazing team.
They are. There's two of those kids.
They demolished Armstrong, who was ranked 4th.
Yeah, they took it to Greg, and I know Greg real well, and
what a job by Urbanczyk. He dives to the left. The puck gets free, and he dives again. Boy, wow. Talk about the Hard Hat Award for effort. I didn't mean to interrupt you, John. As Dylan Hewitt goes for a goal there on the weak side, and Sims follows. And then it's stolen out of the cookie jar there. I think Urbanczyk's like, oh, come on, you guys. You fired 2 at me. I'm diving on it. Leave me alone. 11:10 remaining.
Great experience for him, though. You're going against one of the best programs in the state, and you're making saves. You're keeping your team, this could be an absolute runaway. And 15, he is just playing and enjoying it, and he'll gain a lot of experience from this, and it'll really help his confidence. Goalie,
that was just bad. Look, he had that left post guarded.
I should have shut up.
Dropped down.
I jinxed him.
No, you didn't jinx him. I don't know if that hit off a skate or what it did. Watch the sequence here and watch his left pad. Here's Kasky on the short wall, going to work it down. And I think that's Jungles who throws it. Oh, it hits his
defenseman.
Went off his own skate, so don't need that. But I think officially it was that Jungles who got that?
Could be. Might be a hat trick for the Jungle Band.
Yeah. I think that was Jungles behind the net, because that was Ben Gleekel, or Cade Gleekel really wanted that one too. So that'll put it at 8-0 here. We're in running time, obviously, after 6 goals in the third period. I don't know if you saw that. There was a story the other day in the new Let's Play Hockey by Jack Blatherwick, who you know about.
Jack was a great hockey development guy here at Benilde for a lot of years. He was with the U, he was with the Gophers, the Olympic team. I mean, he's got some serious history with hockey.
Boy, does he ever, And what a nice coaching staff with Riddle over there and Tom Klein, who was the longtime coach at Minnetonka. So after the faceoff win, Sims going to work it up to the point this time. Dylan Hewitt getting some ice, throws it out there. Red Knights going to keep the forecheck aggressively. Callinger out front. Whoa, tic-tac-toe, and a beautiful goal by Jerry Callinger there. Boy, he turned around and fired that all within a matter of a half a second. So 24, Jerry Callinger gets on the board. I don't know officially what goal that is for Callinger, but it was a nice hold that time. I'm trying to place my numbers here. I don't know if that was Sky Brown who was out on the ice as well. No, I'm sorry. That was Will Duda, I think, who gets another assist on that as well. So I just he got rid of that so fast. So
He did, and you know when he made the puck just crawled up his uniform there, because I think he initially made the save, but the puck was so hardly shot that.
And you just can't expect a guy to turn around in a quarter second and fire it like that either. You know, when he's not even facing you.
There's some good stick handling, some quick hands, boy. These kids can play.
ESM with a break again here. Just an 8.5 to go here in the third stanza. Hawks going to try to break it the other way. Opportunity for a long, beautiful pass out front, and here's a break for Annette. Annette one-on-one, nice stop and go move, throws it on net, and a nice save by Long. That might have hit off and redirected off a shin pad there. It's a nice job again by Derek Annette. Here's Holmers to the middle. Oh, he had a great opportunity from 15 feet, and Annette got enough of the stick to make that go up and over. So
he is quite the player.
Like to see that where the kid has the offensive opportunity here, doesn't go awry, but he hustled all the way back and made the play in front of his own. You know, I know how much he appreciates seeing that too.
He's a senior, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
Seniors just play their hearts out.
Well, thrown out front, Holmers. And Holmers going to get a goal there, as not too much that Urbancic could do. So Jacob Holmers gets on the board there. I think the assist was to number. I'm having a hard time with numbers. Consult your newspaper tomorrow morning.
They're scoring quite.
It was Ristow, 19, or 19 and 21. So Holmers and Ristow on the assist here. Here's Sims again off the break. Sims out there with Sky Brown and Jack Quaylen thrown on net. Brown tried to get a stick on it. We mentioned his first varsity game. So here is Brown. He's got some help from Caskey. They're kind of mixing the lines here. Caskey with Brown and Quaylen out front.
I really like Caskey. He can really do some neat things with the puck.
Yeah.
He's always in control. His head's up. His body is in a great position to shoot or pass. You know, he anticipates well.
Absolutely.
That's he was trying to sneak one across there. That's great vision.
Diagonal pass.
Yeah.
That one thrown towards the net, and Brown has it hit off his shin pad. Maybe he's trying to use that shin to redirect it in the net. Looks like the Hawks are going to momentarily gain possession, but again, they can't break it out. Here's a turnover at the blue line, and Chaska just going to pass it out front, and unfortunately, Krayenbeck not able to do anything with it, as I don't know if we got a name and number for that check that was thrown. Krayenbeck breaks it out again. We'll see if Hawks can get some momentary possession here. Esping with some speed. Esping going to wheel it around the corner. Nicely done, but unfortunately he's got no help, and he has that taken right off his stick.
Great positioning.
Yeah.
Great positioning. Dylan Hewitt, man, that was a nice job. Just cut him off.
Yeah, and I know Hewitt's a product of the Plymouth or the Wayzata Association. Mayer throws it over to Peter Heimbo. Peter's shot just got a small part of it here. Annette still out there playing hard.
Pass.
Nice backhand pass towards the middle, and a wrist shot by Rue. Nobody home as it goes wide. Again, that's skating to your left and shooting back to your right too. I mean, that's some great skills. So
goalie sliding across. He's trying to go backside here.
And he uses, I know you'd notice this, John, but he actually uses the pick in a way of number 9 Gleekel on that to have a little more creative space. Yep. By Gleekel going hard. So.
All those great players will use defensemen as screens, shoot it between their legs, and just amazing.
Here's Peter Heimbaugh. We mentioned earlier, too, before we went on, Chaska has used 24 different skaters on the varsity, and their number 1 player, Carter Schmidt, we should mention, has been out since middle of January. Believe it or not, he had 25 points as we have another goal here. I think that Carter Rue again. Jungles. I'm sorry, folks, that I didn't quite follow that. There's Rue with the pass, and indeed it is. Oh, it's Cade Gleekel getting on the board. So Cade's first goal makes it 11-0. We've been in running time all the third period. I was going to say, though, I don't know if Coach Snuggerwood wasn't sure if this Carter Schmidt could come back, but he and Rodeheffer were on the ice almost the whole Park game we had when Park was able to beat him by a couple goals. And he made a huge difference because he was a little more skilled than Rodeheffer and as aggressive as Annette, too. So
sure. We got some shenanigans going on. The student section is throwing their hats on the ice, so it's getting they're getting the business talk to.
Yeah,
they're getting tossed.
Yeah, and it's one thing when you're in a relatively close game and you get a hat trick, but yeah. Well, I had the awful experience of my son playing goalie against Edina the year they won the state title, and it was 17-0. So I know that feeling, but
Edina put it on a lot of teams that year, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, they had a few hat tricks that night.
Oh my goodness!
Thrown to the point. Mayer's hard cannon, the sophomore. I guess you can see speed-wise why what college is it again? Why Connecticut's so excited to have him in 3 years. Connor Mayer's slapper goes high. Well, John, it's been a lot of fun I've had. I just wanted to say, if you ever want to do this again, I don't know if we've had John Gauchi or any of those people have been watching or listening, but great experiences we had back in the Cooper Youth Program with our kids, even though we didn't have numbers. Here's Annette with a nice steal. Annette's wrister, and Long comes out beautifully to cut that angle down enough. He came out 12 feet, so Annette almost lights the lamp again, as he's got 34 goals on the season. Urbanczyk on the back check here, but Augie Moore going to just chip it ahead. Stays on the backhand, and he throws it off of one of the Hawk players out. Yeah, I was going to say, just great experience, that we had with the youth programs and coaching together, and I'm real happy that you could find time out of a day when you probably slept 2 hours, or did you even sleep 2 hours?
No, usually I try to stay up my off days, and that way I can sleep tonight. Otherwise, it's just madness.
I was going to say.
Yes.
Back to the point, Mayer with a wrist shot. Just 2.5 remaining here.
Oh, nice little chip there.
And on senior night, the Red Knights win big and move to 6-0 in the conference. I believe besides the Wayzata game, they have one more conference game against St. Louis Park on the 14th on Valentine's Day here.
How'd they do against Park, the earlier game?
They haven't played them yet this year.
Okay.
Park's really young. Park has Bauer Neudecker, a great sophomore who's I think got 30 goals, and he's really small, but he's got tons of moves, right-handed shooter.
Okay.
And next year should be really good. Their Bantam AA team has won 20 games with the Sorensen kid, Tim Donahue, the Gold Park head coach's son. So there's a bright future the next few years. I know the numbers we talked about earlier, the numbers are really up where Nathan was playing in a co-op environment. They are not in the co-op anymore with the Storm. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Their program will grow and get really good.
There's a nice wrist shot
by
Peter
leave a mark,
Heinbold.
huh?
Wow.
Holy mackerel.
Well, it's nice to have shooting practice,
boy.
Swoops behind the net here, and unfortunately McClure not able to get a stick on that. Back out to Austin. Nick Austin passes it to his partner and over to Kalanger. Kalanger back to the point. Hard slap shot. Nice pad save. That had a ton of momentum on the Heinbold slapper. Bad angle pass is stolen away by the Hawks, and they're just going to chip it towards center ice. And you don't even, that's what you have to do if you're not going to hit the red line even. You got to throw it out soft. So Annette still out there for Chaska. Tries to get it over to Urbanczyk, not able to do so. Pierce on the forecheck as well. Just 40 seconds remaining. Trying to make sure another save made on net. So for Chaska, who lost on Tuesday, here's Annette again with a 1-on-3 situation in net. He's not giving up whatsoever. Dylan Hewitt with a beautiful check on him as he erases him with a beautiful clean hip check.
Eraser.
Wow, that was nicely done. Thrown to, and they're going to try to get Mr. Brown with a goal here. Throw it on net, and indeed he does. So, wow, that would have been something if Shada Sky Brown would have got his first varsity goal. And that's going to do it as that fourth unit getting some ice here. Teams are going to look at that Hewitt, kind of a half hip, half elbow. Nicely done by our camera crew. On senior night, the score on the board is correct. Benilde-St. Margaret's 11, the Chaska Hawks nothing. We mentioned Tuesday night, February 10th, Benilde hosting Wayzata in a matchup that's going to determine who's the number 2 seed in Section 6AA. You heard Coach Pauly mentioning it earlier. Whoever wins that game almost for sure will get that 2 seed, meaning if you get to the semis, technically you're the home team, you get last change, which means a lot to coaches too. So if you get a chance, come on out on Tuesday. Otherwise, they're playing the Orioles on Saturday the 14th. And John, really thank you for coming out tonight. Any last comments, not only about the game, but also about the football program at Benilde?
No, I think I pumped the football team enough, so it's all good.
Right.
We do what we do, and we love what we do, so it's a great environment.
Yep, and as the coaches and seniors check out there. So once again, if you do want to get a DVD of this game or watch the replays, as I know we have a lot of senior parents that are going to be asking, Paul's going to put up the graphic before we go off air. Go to ParkTV.org to watch and click on 16. Also, channel 14 shows replays for live web streaming. We were live tonight on February 5th. On demand is another option. And then the DVDs can be ordered $10 if you buy 3 or more. I don't know if any of your football parents ever ordered the DVDs, but that Orono game would have been a good one to get a DVD of.
That would have been a phenomenal game, and we've got that game, so it's
good.
Yeah.
So, and otherwise, and then also if you have, and I mean this sincerely, if you have any feedback on the game, the production, the intermission guests, game operations, that's kind of what we call it, even the announcers, give Paul a call at that number on your screen. And I believe tomorrow night is another Benilde event, as Paul and the crew are going to cover girls basketball for BSM. So, and I just want to say on behalf of John Hanks, this is John Fromm saying good night from the St. Louis Park Rec Center. Thanks for joining us.